we can't keep having targets of building more, right? And this is not restricted to the construction industry alone. If you look at manufacturing, then it is about manufacturing more. If you look at education, it is about churning out more so-called educated people who are, I would say, more insensitive to the environment than the rural people who may not be that educated. Habitat India is a premier professional institution that is now looking at spreading awareness on the sustainable habitat movement across India. And when we say habitat, we are not only focused on, let's say, for example, the built habitat, but all formats of habitat, making it inhabitable for all forms of life, all people from all cultural backgrounds, so on and so forth. So it's we've got multiple agendas, but prime agenda is to spread awareness amongst all stakeholder groups on sustainability in habitats in rural as well as urban areas. Habitat India is independent. Habitat India doesn't. Habitat India is now looking at creating a platform which allows for lots of experts in the field of sustainability to come and share their views, right? And what we want to do is to try and make the initiative as India-centric as possible, make it as locally relevant as possible. Because with my history of 16 years in green buildings and energy efficiency, I've realized that a lot of what we are told in sustainability may not be relevant in India at all. It might be a completely hegemonized version of what is being given to us by maybe the industry or maybe what the products that they have, so on and so forth. So Habitat India essentially is this entire infrastructure that we have here and the entity that runs the infrastructure. And Lardli Foundation is part of the Habitat facility, but it is a organization in its own right, which has already carved a niche for itself, with excellent work that they have done in rural areas in the grassroots in India, on supporting them in fulfilling their personal aspirations, like things like getting their girl child married and all. They've done some excellent work. So they are now a recognized entity. They're globally recognized, in fact, under the leadership of Mr. Devendra Gupta. So that is the Lardli Foundation. But we are currently focused on Habitat India. Well, Swaraj is a dream. Swaraj is a conversation, a very, very powerful, life-altering conversation, which allows people to discover that their own local culture, what they were born into, doesn't need to be changed into something else. And I feel that personally, I think for a large part of my life also, I felt, कि हमारा देश ठीक है, it's a good country, but people should learn to speak fluent English, and people should really be dressed very smartly in suits and blazers, not realizing that everything that I'm trying to copy, it is not suitable to the climate, to put very simply, and it's not sustainable. And over time, it became somewhat of a movement. We have worked with some of the leading universities and schools in India, in some cases overseas as well. And the conversation has the framework of Swaraj, which basically comprises 5 elements. That is Bhasha, Bhojan, Bhesh, Bhavan, Bhajan. Which then, when they come together, they create the local interpretation of Bhagwan. And all that is born out of Bhumi, which is the soil, and of course the climate, right? So these things take many, many, many years to evolve and to come to a stage where they are living, where the people who belong to these 5 elements are living in harmony with nature, right? And it takes 20 years to come and disrupt that system, right? So Swaraj, when I said it's a dream, our vision is that everybody in the world and in India is confident and at peace with who they already are, with their local culture the way it is, with their own Bhasha, Bhojan, Bhesh, Bhavan, Bhajan. And it's like, even if you're living in a jhuggi, or even if you're living in a jhopad, right? And we many times don't understand this word. Jhopad is not something that belongs to poor people. Jhopad, if you go to parts of Rajasthan, it is what the local people build, which is cool in the summers, warm in the winters, stays cozy at night when the temperatures go down, right, drastically, is resilient to the wind. Now that is a Jhopad. So even if somebody is living there, they are at peace with themselves. They're not constantly striving for more, or trying to change themselves, which is usually the trend in the world. So that is Swaraj. And we do training and awareness programs. Our dream is to reach all 6,25,000 villages in India and have the youth especially discover this, because every time we have worked with youth, their response has been, ये बात हमारे को पहले क्यों नहीं बताई? Why were we not told about this earlier? And I feel that if this becomes a part of the regular conversation, then another aspect that it explores is the correlation or the relationship between young people and their grandparents and parents. Because all that we are talking about is not bookish knowledge. It is knowledge that can only be transmitted through actual relationships with real people, and not with the voices that were perhaps written in paper, 100 years back or 150 years back, not like that. So what Habitat has done now is given us a huge opportunity to express what we have been doing so far in a more formal manner, with infrastructure support, with financial backing. Of course, we are also committed that we become financially independent in terms of being able to generate revenue, and also make the organization profitable, with the intention of furthering the mission. The more we can do that, the better that is, right? So Habitat has kind of just like taken us under their wing and signed us on as people who can further the intention and the mission of Habitat India, at the same time doing it in the manner that Swaraj has been able to do all these years. So in effect, it is going to be like, Swaraj is now a project that is run by and envisioned by and furthered by Habitat India, the institution. So I think that's a very interesting question, and I think the role that we have to play also is very interesting, because given climate change, given the context that we are dealing with, given sea level rise, given CO2 level rise, given temperature rise, we need to start asking the harder hitting questions. When will we stop building? I don't know if there is an answer to that question. I don't know if we've ever looked at that, given the water situation in the country right now. We can't keep having targets of building more, right? And this is not restricted to the construction industry alone. If you look at manufacturing, then it is about manufacturing more. If you look at education, it is about churning out more so-called educated people who are, I would say, more insensitive to the environment than the rural people who may not be that educated, right? So I think this game of more, better, different, like Werner Erhard talks about, it's in our bones. And I think Swaraj's most exciting and interesting challenge is, how does one communicate the idea that we can't constantly be going down the path of more, better, different, and we need to do some sort of a reality check, so to speak, on when should we stop, what should the alternative be, and can we focus on creating sustainable communities, and can we focus on how do we make our existing cities sustainable, which in itself I think is a Herculean task, rather than saying, okay, let's build 40 more cities, right, or 100 more cities, or 200 more cities, whatever may be the vision of so many generations to come in the future, right, and not just what we are doing right now. So I think the role of Swaraj is more to sensitize people towards the fact that Purn Swaraj, or the idea of self-resplendence, being at peace with yourself, does not involve more, better, different. It involves discovering status quo, discovering being at peace, discovering harmony amongst people and with nature. And I think that the low-hanging fruit in this situation is that we are in India. And Indian people are very familiar with this concept. Like I was speaking to my colleague here, Shalini Negi, and I was telling her that, and she agreed, I said, Shalini, हर एक हिंदुस्तानी इंसान दिल पे पत्थर रख के काम करता है. every Indian person knows that there is destruction of the environment happening right. Every Indian person knows that what they are doing is compromising with, you know, the relationship that they have with their country, and they are compromising with the future of their children. They know that. If we can give them that freedom, where they are free to choose, they realize that they are not compelled to be in the job that they are in. They are not compelled to, it's to a great extent it is about, oh, it looks really nice that I'm working in a multinational company. Let's just ignore what's happening on the environmental front right now. That's not necessary. Those choices can be made in a very, very harmonious manner. And I think another challenge that I feel we are still dealing with, which we haven't been able to articulate entirely in terms of a formal training program or some sort of an awareness program that creates solutions or results, is the idea of community building. The fact that if I look at myself as an individual dealing with the environmental issue, I can't deal with it. I'm just too overwhelmed. Whereas as soon as I look at my community, then everything becomes like, oh, okay, who do I reach out to? Who can I collaborate with? And who can I work with to further my mission? Right? So I think it is both these aspects that need to be communicated to the built environment as well as the infill environment that goes into the build, which is Swaraj's drive of making people realize that they can give up the approach of more, better, different, and creating communities that can then facilitate sustainability. The message for the viewers is very simple as well as probably the most challenging. Learn to fall in love with yourself. Learn to fall in love with who you are as a legacy. I don't mean fall in love with yourself as your identity or as you know, some ego. I mean learn to fall in love with the fact that you were born as a part of a lineage that has so beautifully created systems, structures, songs, festivals that revolve around natural phenomena, around nature, right? Learn to fall in love with that, and you will realize that the entire challenge of what the world is dealing with in terms of sustainability is a no-brainer. It's something that we can handle so beautifully and so easily that there's no doubt. Like, I have no doubt.